Crystalis.
Yeah.
6 letters.
SGDQ.
Yeah. Yeah. Blue.
Yeah, the demon chocobo looked even weirder on that TV.
Bonus. I don't know. Oh, demon.
Yeah. I approve.
All right, so they're running 100% here, which isn't that much different from any percent. They have to pick up a few extra things. Are you guys picking up extra armor? All right. Okay, yeah, just permanent items, and so it's like the shield ring that they wouldn't normally get. What else do you not get? You get one of the fighter ring or warrior ring,
I don't think you get
right?
the warrior ring
Yeah.
in any percent, do you?
It's just the fighter's ring, I believe. So they have to pick. So they have to enter a few new dungeons and that kind of thing.
And there are 2 extra bosses, although they're fought in a different order than the game developers intended. Just to put it mildly.
Alright, so just to clarify what's happened so far, UA got the alarm flute and 2 antidotes. Antidotes cure poison. The alarm flute is an item necessary to progress the plot.
Yeah, and poison is actually a pretty big deal in this game, especially early on, just because you can't cure it except for either using an antidote, using the spell that cures status effects, or getting a different kind of status effect instead.
Now, I don't remember, when you buy the alarm flute and antidote herbs, do you get them at discounted prices? No? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were using a shopping glitch that allowed them to basically pay the price of one of the slots next to the item they were buying. And if there's an empty slot next to it, then they're paying nothing, which they'll be using to rip off some poor people later on.
Decent armor. Yeah.
So with the alarm flute, they just used it to get the windmill key, and then they're going to go in the windmill, turn the windmill on, which is going to open up a cave. This game definitely has a lot of, like, plot triggers. So pretty much everywhere they're going, they're either going to trigger the plot, kill a boss, or go grind.
Yeah, because one downside to this game is that there's minimum levels you have to have in order to damage enemies, particularly bosses. So there is required grinding.
Yeah, if you go into a boss and you are under leveled, you will not be able to hit him for anything, and you will die.
Yeah, he'll tink off, and you can't even escape once you get into a boss battle. You're in there until the end.
So now we're farming our first level.
Yeah, going for level 2, and this is actually a lot harder than it looks, just because of having to move diagonally and not run into the slime, but still hit it.
When I was considering learning to speedrun this game, I stopped when I tried doing that slime technique. That's how far I got.
Yeah, you'll be hearing lots and lots and lots of cursing about hitboxes from anybody that speedruns this game, because they are very special.
Okay, one of the mechanics about this game is that this game would be much better with like 4 buttons rather than 2.
Yeah, I'm fond of saying that this game really could have used a sequel or remake for the Super Nintendo.
For instance, to use an item, you use it while you're using your sword. So you either have it equip and use it and have issues with your sword, or you don't equip an item.
Yeah, like shoulder buttons to cycle through your swords instead of having to open the menu every time would have been nice.
And you can't use magic and an item at the same time, like rabbit boots, and you can't have magic equipped to use rabbit boots, things like that.
Yeah, so this game has 4 elements, and they have 4 corresponding swords. Right now, we only have the wind sword. And then, along with each sword, there is like a ball that gives you power, and a bracelet that gives you like a special attack. The bracelets are typically optional, but I assume we're getting all of them because this is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, using those balls and bracelets to charge special attacks from your sword is kind of how you're meant to play this game, but for speed purposes, just pinning enemies against the wall and stabbing them with the basic stab move is faster.
Right.
And that's pretty much just because you have to stand still in order to charge your sword. I imagine if you could charge while moving, they'd be using it a lot more often.
Dragon Dark's at the boss, the vampire, the first kind of full boss type thing.
Pretty healthy dollop of RNG as far as where it spawns.
Pretty average, I would think, that particular battle. UA's not off to a great start. Oh, man. Let's go to each individual corner here. That was kind of a unfortunate boss for UA.
So there's a lot of spells in this game. Right now, all they have is refresh that they're using to heal their health. And their MP is obviously in the bottom right.
The third level attacks with each sword does cost MP to use, so that's something...
Which is why I basically never use them whenever I play the game.
So what UA just grabbed was a required plot item hiding in a pile of bushes on the map. That's kind of the unfortunate thing about this game. Plot triggers are not the clearest.
So it's a typical NES adventure game.
Exactly.
The preference here would not to be using the inn, but given their health at this point, I don't think they'll be skipping it.
And so they're using the shopping glitch to get a bunch of free warp boots. They can basically use the fact that there's an empty slot next to them to get them for free.
Yeah, UA didn't have enough money for the inn, so he had to grind a guy up.
Every time you kill an enemy, the money actually spawns in like a random spot, which is kind of inconvenient.
I believe money generates lag, too.
You can't, where Dragon Dark is, you can't be in that area without the gas mask. You have dwindling health.
I'm still waiting for somebody to try a gas maskless.
A kind of staple of RPG games is to go to a city just for the purpose of getting its warp, into the safe spot, so you can.
Teleport spell is really nice in this game just because it works anywhere. I mean, like in Dragon Quest and a lot of other RPGs, you have separate spells to get out of dungeons quickly, and others to go between towns. But in this game, it's just one for all of them.
So Dragon Dark is fighting Stom, this warrior guy, and you pretty much cannot beat him the first time, and probably not the second time.
Yeah, I think beating Stom first try pretty much requires Bomb Teresa skip level mashing.
I think the developers didn't think you'd come immediately back. They think you'd go fight them and then fail and then go grind again and then fail and then go grind again and then win.
Yeah, so I think it's third try is probably the most consistent way to beat him. Okay. I always think the people of Oak look like little bunny rabbits, too, for the record.
Yeah, they're about to fight another boss that was interesting.
Yeah, the reward for returning a lost kid is to give a flute that summons a giant insect that's going to try to kill you. So, yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. This boss is also one of the setup is kind of a NES style, where they're in an upper range you can't get to. So you have to shoot it with a ranged attack. But they have to be at what, level 5 or 4? 4. They have to be at level 4 to be able to do.
A lot of random enemies in this game have different weaknesses. Some of them are completely strong. Certain swords you cannot hit them.
Which becomes an issue later when there are two enemies. You have both of them are immune to a different sword. So you have to continuously switch back and forth between them. The mushroom things are actually the best enemies because they're 1 hit and 8 EXP, while the axe throwing, what are they? Woodcutters, yeah, they're kind of minotaur type things. Orcs. Only get 5, yeah, orcs,
maybe.
Yeah.
They kind of look like they have tusks.
So they get up to a specific amount so that they can be at level 5 for the first Mount Saber area.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty significant chunk of the routing for this game is figuring out how to grind as efficiently as possible.
Alright, so we're gonna fight the giant insect now.
Fortunately, your fire has a little bit wider hitbox than its attack.
But not by much.
But not by much.
Yes, this is pretty dangerous. Knowing where the hitboxes are.
And
ooh,
the helper guy is not terribly
it's helpful.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Whose side are you on here?
Yeah. Oh man, sniped from the back.
Yeah, because they don't have any armor and aren't getting any for a while too. It's a big part of why it's pretty rough.
Yeah, you're at half health, but no MP.
Yeah, those tomato guys do lots of damage with little armor.
I'd see if UA is any better luck with the boss.
He's got a full bar of MP. Okay. That lag.
Yeah. Wait till you see the Thunder Sword, too. Thought you knew. Whoa!
This insect ball.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dark and Dark having a little bit of better luck. Yeah. So now they're more even, yeah. This lower Mount Saber is one of the most difficult areas in the game, regardless of what your equipment is.
Yeah, and we're switching to the rabbit boots now. We got them after we beat the vampire, and I don't think we've used them yet, or if we did, it was only for a second. You need the rabbit boots to jump up the ramps. Later in the game, we'll use them to jump over some obstacles and other things.
Jump over Bert. Over and over and over again.
Our friend Bert. Bert is important. It's so important to the run that there's no way he can't have a name.
So you'll notice UA just switched swords. He needed Wind Sword to kill the enemies and Fire Sword to kill the wall. Every one of those, like, destructible walls, you need a specific sword in order to pull it up.
The fact that they designed this dungeon like that is probably why it's my least favorite one in the game. This probably feels like it has the most sword switches in the whole game.
And hitbox salt begins.
Yep.
The you just grab the tornado bracelet, which, as we said earlier, gives him the ability to use a very strong attack at the expense of some MP. Right. So when he talks to the Tornell later, Tornell gives him the teleport spell. Now that he has the tornado bracelet, and it's not at all obvious that that's the case.
Yep. Again, NES adventure game story triggers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's more generous than most of the rest of the game.
Poison in this game can be quite detrimental if you don't have any antidote herbs.
Because by the time you learn the recover, I think is the name of the spell, you're pretty much past the point where poison is a significant threat.
Because even does an in trip even? It does. But in these dungeons, it's actually a pretty fast countdown comparison to how long you have to spend in these areas, and it does kill you. Some games, poison doesn't actually kill you; it just gives you to minimum health. Not this one.
The spawns in this game are very strange at times, but in general, they're kind of just based around having the enemy far enough off the screen. It's a lot more intricate than that, but that's the general idea.
There are 2 grind sessions in Mount Saber, one in lower, one in upper. We just got through the zombies.
The abominable snow zombies.
Yeah.
Spider hitboxes.
Looks like we're pretty even now. Now, it was mentioning during setup, this game does have a remake. It's prefer to be forgotten that it has a remake, but it does indeed have a remake on Game Boy Color. Dragon Dark has done some routing and some attempts at that game. We're still unsure why. I think it was brain. Yeah.
I'm legitimately curious. What is your issue with the Game Boy Color version?
It's not nearly as good. I mean, first off, just from a aesthetic point, the music is terrible.
Oh yeah, I do recall the changes.
Yeah. I mean, it does have a few things that are improved, like not needing to grind in order to fight bosses, and enemies not having total immunity to certain swords.
There's some issues with, like, hit stun, I believe. Enemies not taking damage when they should. It's.
I think the smaller screen of the Game Boy kind of contributes to making the NES version a bit better experience.
Yeah. And now they're going to do a trick through to get up to upper Mount Saber. I'm still unsure of how it works. And he got it first try.
Nice, yeah.
They're supposed to do.
Yeah, there's an event barrier there that you're supposed to go find out that the people have been kidnapped to get past, but there's like a magic pixel that you can clip through. Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And what Dragon Dark did in the end, moving around, is sometimes you don't get the return, the warp spot for that inn when you're supposed to, if you enter it. So they just move around a bit to make sure it triggers. Now, rabbit boots are really important against these soldiers. When you're in the air, you're invulnerable to them. You're only, able to be hit when you land on the ground, so it's much safer to attack those guys because they do a ton of damage with no armor. Yeah, it's very easy to get hit with the hitboxes and things like that nature.
I mean, since there's no depth physics in this game, really, the hitbox for your sword is just where the sprite for it is, so you can kind of cheat them out by jumping.
And now that they're at the second grind session here of the second Mount Saber grind session, I'm still not sure what those things are. They're like blue French fries in a walking French fries, yeah. They need level, 8? Or is it 7 for Kubalescu?
I know that was part of the kind of route improvements that have been made to this game over the past year or two, is optimizing the grinding a bit better by working in enemies that you can kill on your way to the next boss after the grinding spot.
They're literally about 2 cycles apart right now.
Yeah.
Synchronized grinding should be an Olympic sport.
Is this one of those visual games that when you get armor and a shield, you actually see it?
Yeah,
in
you
your
see
character?
the armor, I think the shield too. Yep. He's just wearing bulkier clothes when he has armor.
Now, those heads are kind of a weird enemy in this game. Dragon Dark has done a stream where it acted like they were getting hit, but after even 255 hits, it didn't die. So I think those guys are kind of bugged in this game. Yes, as Brooks said, there's no depth, so you can see Dragon Dark is getting these guys at an angle. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the more dangerous grinding sessions is how easily those soldiers can combo you to death if they hit you.
To prison. I wonder what I use this for.
Now here, one of the elemental generals are coming up here. He's kind of one of those bosses.
4 swords, 4 bosses.
Yeah.
Well, a lot more bosses before main.
Yeah. And he is very difficult.
Yeah. Even in a normal playthrough, General Skelbesk is probably the first hard boss in the game.
Oh, very good battle before
nice.
UA. Great battle. Okay, yeah. Ragnarok's not quite as good battle, but got through it. Yeah, any one you survive from is a good one.
Voices teaching you spells at the end of
Now, paralysis is actually very important in the speed run, but as a plot trigger, you have to do a bunch of things in this town, and then, yeah. But we're going to skip all that. You're supposed to get a fruit of the lime, I believe it is. Fruit of lime to turn the some unfortunate village people from stone, but these guys are kind of jerks and won't do that. And there we go.
Do you want to explain how that trick works?
I'm not sure why the mechanic works the way it is. I have no idea why it works.
It's a rare case where the weird hitboxes work in your favor.
Uh-huh. Third sword.
Right. So all those enemies UA just passed are only able to be hit with a water sword.
Paralysis is a spell I never really used much when I played the game after it first came out, but
That's never happened.
Yay!
but there's a lot of enemies that they're going to grind on that
Are vulnerable to it.
yeah, and that are quite deadly if they do their normal attacks.
Now these things stone you, right? Is it stone or paralysis? It's a stone, which is you'll eventually get out of it, but it's a huge time waster. So UA's playing a little dangerously, not healing there. Paralysis against you in this game doesn't freeze you. It makes so you can't charge your sword, which for killing regular enemies obviously isn't a big deal, but to break away walls and things like that, it's required to recover from. By the time it becomes an issue, they have recover, so it's not a problem, it's a magic problem, not a game finishing problem. This section is actually the reason they have to grind so much is because they're skipping so much in this area. They'll be doing another skip coming up pretty soon in the water, using the unbelievably greatly termed Ghetto flight. Who came up with that? Was that you? The interesting thing about this game is that the rabbit boots in this game actually mimics the flight spell that you get late in this game.
It turns on flight for 1 frame.
But you can manipulate that so you're actually over unlandable space. So you end up, using the flight spell when you're not supposed to. Because you'll see your magic dwindle. But you'll still be able to use it. Okay, now they're off to get the ball of water. The shot from the ball of water opens up water bridges. That's some mashing right there.
That flying whatever really wanted.
That guy does not fit in with the rest of the game at all. He's just like a...
I am rage, I will give you the ball of water.
I haven't tried it.
Yeah. Both the guy in the room he's in kind of reminds me of one of the bosses from Soul Blazer.
This is the first area I believe you can get paralyzed, and it's very detrimental because there are about 8 to 10 walls you have to break through.
I mean, strat that they'll be using if they get paralyzed in a bad spot is actually to intentionally get poisoned because because this game can't handle you having more than one status effect at the same time, which is true all the way up to like Final Fantasy IV. It's an issue in that game too. So the game forgets about the paralysis if you get poisoned.
That is one kind of issue with this game, is that the dungeons are a bit bland at times. Later on, they're actually more unique, but the first
it's a bunch
half
of caves
of the game,
with pretty unexciting music.
Yeah, and
all the overworld and town and everything else music in this game is amazing, but I'm not really a fan of the dungeon music.
But once we get to late the game, the pyramid, the tower, that's much better music. Like,
yeah.
So it looks like UA made up quite a bit of time there. Yep. Yeah, you're within 10 seconds. Again, very similar. That's why UA was making the comment. You didn't remember which dungeon he's in because it looks exactly the same. This one has 2 paths, I believe, right? Or is it the other one? And again, for experience purposes, it's just better to kill everything on the way rather than skip it.
Is there an item that cures paralysis, or is it just the counter spell?
Fruit of Reuben.
Okay.
Lysis one. The Fruit of Reuben is for animal.
Slime me. Can do anything to monster.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yep.
Well. I forgot my metal slime. I should have brought my metal slime.
You made the mistake of leaving home without it.
Yeah, I did. I just won't get enough experience.
Might run away though.
Yep.
We got down to about 2 bars of health there. I got a little scared. I don't know about anyone else in the room.
That's why I was like looking over because I can't see his health. Now UA can skip some enemies because he got the level up he was expecting. Dragon Dark with a good section there. So you're supposed to use paralysis to, freeze guards and meet the queen and then the fortune teller, but that never happened. Yeah.
It was all in your mind.
Now they needed a medical herb to give to the dolphin. They need to make sure not to use it on themselves and to make sure they give it to the dolphin so that you can traverse the sea.
I think this is probably the most confusing part of the game because there's so many things you have to do in this area in a specific order, and if you don't do them in the right order, like you accomplish nothing.
Yeah, nothing happens. Yeah, and then yeah. So now it's off to get the pendant. Well, you're getting the town return, and they have to get the pendant so they can give it to Kensu, right? That's his name. Who'll give you transform. Yeah. And then we'll be off to another grinding session. There's no hint for the love pendant in this game that I'm aware of. Just that it's in the ocean somewhere. That's probably, in my opinion, that's the worst one. Now there are two ways to do this area that Dragon Dark is in. You can kill the first two, or you can kill all six. Dragon Dark's done some testing, and it's a difference at best of like 0.5 seconds, maybe?
I like to call this the Cabbage farm.
Yeah,
I guess they could be either turtles or lily pads or something too.
Looks like UA's doing the 2 and Dragon Dark's doing the full 6.
Said you did. I don't know if you actually did.
So they grind, what, maybe 2.5 levels, or just 1.5? 1.5. These guys give a lot of experience for this point in the game.
The music transition is so good.
So mediocre. Yeah, you're only giving us 4 notes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's all I heard when he did it that time.
EW only needs 4 notes.
Yeah, I only need 4 notes. Yep. Why not darkly? We'll be going to the Ghetto flight coming up here. We had the Magic Pixel first time for both of them. We're going to get first time Ghetto flight from both of them. That's not the spirit. We have faith, don't we? We have faith. Not first try. Oh, about third try there. So you can see Dragon Dark's MP going down. And you're supposed to go through Joel, go through that dungeon that, so you can undo that Whirlpool, but the trick skips that dungeon. Alright, it's UA's turn, make sure to, yeah. Oh, wow.
The dolphin.
Oh, wow! Wow! You still got Ghetto flight. That's amazing.
I have never seen that before. I thought I just soft locked the game.
You beached that dolphin.
Dolphin.
Always something new at Crystalis marathon runs.
Change is a spell they'll be using to impersonate dead people.
You saw Dragon Dog just do that. Use it for, it's basically plot point spell. Plot trigger. Now, one of the final triggers in this game is you have to use the Bow of Truth. You have to get the Bow of Sun and Bow of Moon.
That's just to get into one of the...
Yeah.
Then you need the Bow of Truth to...
True form. Yeah.
Is there any like trigger early on requiring you to get that bow right now, or
No.
I
Yeah,
think
just
I think you
convenient.
can just get all the way to Dragon and then get stuck because you don't have it.
and it's somewhere in the game and you have no idea where?
Yeah, the problem with the game is that the place where you have to use the Bow of Sun and Bow of Moon, the game treats as a boss battle, and if you don't have both bows, you can't do anything. Can you teleport out of those?
Yeah, or if you wild orb off of the tower.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's an oversight the developers made. Man, we were at this mountain is, fairly late in the game, and I don't remember, ever getting close to it when I would play it casually. Like, start a game, I'd never get here.
Yeah, when I played this as a kid, I definitely got stuck in the ocean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I couldn't figure out what to do there
Yeah.
until I went on Game FAQs.
There was enough hints on this game in Nintendo Power to help me actually
Mm.
get it. Plus, I had a friend that loaned me his card. I think he beat me himself before doing so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can see they're wearing shields and armor now.
I got for free. And don't feel regret.
I don't get it.
Ooh, this dungeon's good.
Yeah. Now we're into fortress. Instead of just cave areas, we're now into fortress areas. So it's different now,
I believe
so
this
that's
is
the
a fortress
positive.
This is
Bert.
Bert's fortress,
Yep.
too. That's Bert there. We're going to be hanging out with Bert for a while. Although jumping over Bert to kill him.
Yeah,
That is a lot of experience.
yeah. It's not frame perfect, but it's a small window. If you jump too late, you'll land on them.
I think this was discovered by the task community, too.
And if you don't jump, you'll just hit them and leave the screen. So you have to jump
I
at
think
just
if
the right
you,
time.
if you see that you're not jumping, you can leave.
Yeah. Now, there's one. I guess the positive thing about the GBC version is that there's something really weird with the water sword, and it lets you kill enemies a little bit faster than normal. It's the warrior ring that does it. Okay, it just works best with the water sword, or is that just what you were using?
So max level in this game, if I recall, is 16.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
not too much grinding to go.
Yeah. 16 is what? 65, 5, 3, 6?
Totally.
Oh, is it? No. But like the max. Hmm. I don't think you have to get exactly to 13, but they get pretty close. Can you guys give me what your best 100% times are? And Dragon Dart? Okay, so it's a 15-second difference right now. Now here's where the path... somewhere around this area is where the real path changes, when they have to pick up some extra permanent items.
Yeah, it's not really a big difference. I
Yeah.
think it's only maybe 5 minutes or so longer to do 100%.
It's like 1.5 more dungeons. You have to do more in like one dungeon and then go to one. Something like that. And then the extra bosses, as you were saying.
The extra dungeon is quite easy because they do it late game.
Hmm. Are we getting to the... Oh, there's a Sword of Thunder. Are the... I think these moths are the ones that... when you kill them, they can break apart and they can paralyze you. Huh. So you really don't want to kill them. You can help it. Okay, now they're doing the tower or fortress of Goa. Oh, triggered. That's right.
Yeah, they found out that the shopkeepers have wised up to their shoplifting habits.
Yeah.
Have gone berserk.
Yeah. Well, if you hadn't stolen their armor, they might have survived. You know. Now you have the water general. You have skipped the fire one so far. Oh, that's bad. You let go of that just a frame or two too early.
This is a pretty difficult boss as far as beating as optimally as possible, just because of the gaps in between your Sword of Water projectiles and Mato's propensity to bounce through them.
He's a pretty random.
Yeah, and also, even when that shot didn't go off, I believe he did lose the MP for it. Yeah. Let's see how it goes for UA.
I wonder if that has to do with like lag frames or something.
Oh, that's a bad spot for him to...
He's hiding.
He slid through.
Okay.
That's pretty average, I would say. I guess we can go into the story of this game a little bit, which I can't even remember
I can
anymore.
barely remember it too.
I was gonna go with something about a floating tower.
Yeah, there's
To oppress evil forever.
yeah, and then it goes haywire or something, and the two people that are
Why exactly you're trying to stop the tower? And stuff, I mean, there's an evil empire called the Empire that's trying to take over the world.
and use the floating tower
exactly
that's
that.
supposed to be for peace, I think.
Now that part was never clear to me too. What the tower had to do with the story of
Yeah. like it corrupted the. I don't know. It's an ultimate power thing that was meant for peace, but they were going to use it for evil. I think
they made some pretty significant changes to the storyline of the Game Boy Color version too, as far as who you are, along with some of the.
Yeah, you're like a cryogenic. You were frozen to only reappear when life was like, you know, when the floating tower was resurrected or something like that.
Yeah, that's like the first scene in the game is you getting out of like a cryogenic chamber, basically.
Yeah.
And it's probably revealed throughout the text in the game, but I don't know.
Even then, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah, this game has very, very nice text for an RPG as far as being able to bash through in a couple seconds.
So we have Kill Us 2.
Which is much easier now. So now all your mentors or helper wizard guys have been captured, and the four generals are, you know, in charge of each of them. Only one of them is really all that nice out of the four when you think about it. Kensu is kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
The girl, I can't remember her name.
Athena.
Athena is like, she's all sort of. Oh, was it? You know, she's very dodgy, and you know.
She keeps posing as like the queen
Yeah,
of the town and
yeah,
all this other
yeah,
ridiculous stuff.
yeah. She's and then who's the
Cornell
other?
keeps making you fight
Like-
like minion.
Yeah,
Or go find him in a random mountain.
Or go find a random item for him in a random mountain.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
the only one is like Zebu. That's
Zebu is
yeah.
nice
He's
guy.
he's the only nice guy.
Well, I mean, he gave you the recover spell. That's
Yeah.
pretty generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, the refresh. Yeah. Yeah, this is
Who's that?
Yeah, this is the fire boss. You didn't actually fight the first time.
So by skipping the fire boss the first time, does the game consider it beaten at that point?
And they'll be doing so as part of this run.
Okay,
too.
that was my next question.
Yeah, one of the things SGDQ last year revealed is that there are some enemies in some dungeons that they didn't know existed before then. Now another what are those, like Scorpius spiders? This is the second to last, and then the scorpions are the last grinding session.
Yeah, this is a pretty unpredictable grind, or just kind of a difficult one because of the spawning.
Is this this is a newer grind spot, isn't it? Oh, okay. It's very easy to despawn enemies here. And these guys give how much? Like 1280? I mean, it's not a good thing to lose it. And this is just a 14, right?
Yeah, scorpions for the rest.
Uh-huh. And then a little bit extra in the pyramid, that kind of thing. Okay, this hitbox can be a little bit problematic at times for Dragon Dark here. Almost got knocked off, lost a good chunk of health on that shadow boss. Which only what? Only a magic shot.
This area is fun to
Reveal.
watch in a task too, because they can
Yeah,
do
level
frame
3.
perfect jumps to just jump over the pits by jumping on top of them.
Oh,
no.
Dragon Dark was
Oh.
looking.
Oh!
The butterfly.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I was warning him.
Okay, Mado 2, which is who they're all a little bit stronger and faster. But
He's
it's
a
most
little bit faster.
yeah, it's most noticeable with Mado, and that was
Yeah,
like
Mado
a great
2 is
fight,
probably
yeah.
the most difficult of the fights.
Right.
The fact you have the power ring now, which what is it? It adds your level to your attack power. And that lets you wreck most of the remaining bosses in the game.
An okay refight, I guess. I don't know how thunder like breaks apart iron statues, but
Yeah, they need to have a statue eraser.
yeah. And then an eraser. Barriers required for getting through that spot. All of those types of
Yeah, I never
spots.
knew how good barrier was when I first played this. I just used it to get past those shooting.
Okay, now the
statues.
thunder guy. Ooh, that's bad. Now, if he gets turned into an animal, or a monster, it's pretty much he has to take a death. You have to play this kind of safe here, because you're dead if you get turned into a monster, because you can't turn back. And 2, you leave a screen. Oh, you do have it 1. Hmm.
I believe that's Karmine, I think was that guy's name, the one that you only fight once. Oh! Okay, that was
Good
still
fight,
a much
though.
faster fight.
I like how his greeting was "Welcome SGDQ 2014."
Yeah.
Or 14. rather.
Yeah.
The bodies are still there.
They don't. Yeah, they don't actually die until you talk to them. So.
Yeah. Now we're off to get flight. Oh, you had flight? Man,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I believe they normally skip in any which is why it's a point of contention. Oh, the shield is what I was talking about. There's quite a few obstacles you need to fly over to get into the next couple.
Yeah. Or the cousin, because Bert's on the left. Ah, okay.
So will that flight spell work over any river in the game?
Pretty much, yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it won't run into trees, though. If I remember right. The return of these guys that are just there to poison you.
Another bow out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which again, there's probably some kind of obscure hint about where to find others. So in that case, you could get all the way to the puzzle where you need to use it and get stuck.
I feel like there's a town person somewhere in the game that has to tell you. But then again, it is.
Yeah. Okay, now to fight the boss the first time that you already fought. I believe, right? Yeah. Oh, he's gonna get you!
Oh!
I'll put... Iron Necklace is a defense boost, which is pretty much worthless in speedrunning sense.
Best defense is a good power.
Yep. Very talkative. And a vampire refight, which is like 4 hits with the power 3.
Yeah, because they're probably a good like 5 levels higher than they're supposed to be. 4 levels higher than they're supposed to be.
Levels are extremely important.
Because they were able to skip having to go here when they were intended to by using the Ghetto flight to get past the Whirlpools and the Angry Sea.
That's another weird trigger on Dragon Dark's TV. Like, the boss is posing as like one of the wizard girl, right?
Yeah.
Right, and so you have to hit her like a bunch of times in order to trigger the boss fight. Otherwise, you just like wander around like I can't do anything.
Yeah, because if you go into the room past faster you get screen locked in there and have to jump down a bit.
Sounds like something a certain Will would do in Illusion of Gaia. It looks like Dragon Dark has, what, 30 to 45 second
I would agree with that.
lead at this point?
Like you've had to race pretty much exactly that amount ever since the Cabbage.
Yeah.
And then they both had the slight mishaps in the Thunder Dungeon.
Yeah. Boss before the tower can be an equalizer for sure. The grind can change some things. This is a lot. He's still a little bit away. And now the last grind is about to start pretty soon.
Just some rabbits.
Yeah.
What is that part of the plot even? Like, what are those rabbits doing in that area? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, or pet or friend.
Okay, this is the final grind. You'll get up to almost 16. And kill some things in the pyramid to get to 16. You have to be 16 for Dragonia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the only boss. That's the first boss you have to be at full max health. Or max level. They're using flight here so that they don't get hit and get poisoned and get annoyed and use recover and then... Come on. Yeah. It actually takes less MP than the refresh and recover from getting hit. Two poisons, it looks like.
Synchronized poison.
Yeah.
Recovery.
Alright, Dragon Dark entering the pyramid. They have a couple of magic rings that fills up their magic up fully. Well, let's get dangerous. Good boss there. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I looked away for a second and was dead.
Yeah.
Okay, he's like, you're the head of the resistance all throughout, and then plot point. And then he gives you the best armor, but he's there for some reason you're unsure of.
This is where the plot just completely lost me.
Yeah, I first played this. Isn't it still? I have no idea
yeah.
why. I have no idea.
I guess I haven't really thought about the plot to this game too much since then.
Okay, this is the spot I was talking about earlier. If you don't have both bows, you're softlock. And yeah, I guess you can die, but
And if you wild warp out of the tower, then these things respawn and you have no boat to kill them with.
yeah.
A death warp? Unintentional death warp.
Oh, you got one, yeah. Oh, and you got hit by it. So, the speedrun. Oh, that cost some time.
Slime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dragon Darks hit the max. And UA is now at the max. So there's no reason to kill enemies other than to plot point, you know, if they're required. Alright, we've got Dragon here.
Help.
Dragon Dark not getting the luck to start off. There it is. Did he run around him? Not quite. Oh, what a great into second, though. Alright, so that didn't start off great, but ended really well. And now we're into the tower. Final tower. It's... Oh my gosh, it's the...
You said you didn't run around him, and I just did.
We actually made up quite a bit of time there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That early section kind of... Okay, what they're trying to do is get all these guys together so that they can, with the Thunderbolt, kill them with a Thunderbolt.
Yeah, you have to kill pretty much all the enemies on each floor in order to get to the next floor. Also, this is taking the NES graphics to the max right now.
Yeah.
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 I'm actually impressed it can still play the music while this is happening.
Yeah, good. Sort of lag. Football robots.
UA's going all out on the Thunder, which is 40 per, because he's got magic rings to...
So every floor you get a little bit more of the story. It still doesn't make any sense.
Pretty much the only thing that can really swing this is these robot battles, because the final boss of this game is an absolute joke.
Unless you don't use barrier. Then he's a little bit more difficult. He's going in circles. Yeah, the flying enemies don't matter. It's all the walkers. Yeah.
So you go in the last room, get the. She gives you a sword, right?
Yeah, she combines.
Yeah,
your
warrior
swords
ring. I was gonna
into
say,
one.
yeah. This is what the warrior ring does. But you shoot a single level. Oh, time.
Oh, you kidding me?
Oh.
Wow, I screwed that up so hard. All right, well, he won anyway. So.
Yeah,
Good race.
good rate. 1:14.10 was the time. So. Yeah, it was really close throughout, and then Dragon Dark had a really good tower. So the tower had. Yeah, so it was really close throughout. So it was really kind of neat, and that's
All hail Demon Chocobo.
yeah, the Demon Chocobo with the victory.
Nope, Demon Chocobo greater than SGDQ 2014.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's
I would add, if you enjoyed this run, I really love the tool-assisted run of this game. It's so good.
It does a few things that are impossible in real time, like skipping the ball of fire too.
That's possible in real time. One of the things they do that's impossible is they're able to charge their sword while moving, but that requires literally 30 hertz mashing.
Yeah. If you charge every other frame, you can walk, which makes it a lot different than standing and charging, so the grinding is actually a lot more interesting.